It's me, your girl Mary, and I'd just like to say before I get started with the I Am a Survivor show that I hope all you women survivors of homicide are feeling empowered today and motivated as we go on this journey surviving the loss of someone to homicide. Before I get started on this quick show, I must light a candle, and I'm going to tell you why I'm doing this. I had an incident today that just really, totally shocked me. I was at an event for survivors of homicide, and the topic was cold cases. And as you know, my loved one, his case, in Melvin's case, is 17 years and a half old. And the event was just, there was a person there to speak from the homicide unit, and the event was just not going the way it was supposed to. We really weren't talking about cold cases. So finally, after raising my hand for at least 20 minutes, I'm acknowledged, and I ask a question about pertaining to cold cases, pertaining to how women survivors of homicide are treated when they go to the homicide unit to ask about their loved one, how they're talked to, how the detectives and different law officials, really don't have that sympathetic or empathetic personality. Instead of them talking to us, we're being talked at. And I shared that information, and I also, shared how with myself, different experiences that I have had. And the conversation just went totally crazy. The representative said something like, as you know, again, Melvin, 17 years, said something like, I don't care about 17 years ago, da, 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 da. And being a survivor yourself, you are not going to dismiss, disrespect, or treat my loved one like they don't matter. And I think that is part of the legitimate problem why women survivors of homicide can't trust law enforcement, because it's that same old thing. We feel as if our loved ones are not important. We feel as if they are just thrown into a file cabinet, these old cases that they call cold cases, which truly are unsolved murders at this point. And we feel like they're thrown in file cabinets and they're not looked at anymore. And that's why, women, it is so important that you, as a survivor, if you are the mouthpiece, the forerunner, the go-getter for your loved one's case, I implore you to never get tired, never give up. Keep talking about them. Go to the police department. Call your homicide detective on your loved one's case. Ask questions. Find out ways and things that you can do to work with the police department. And this is the thing that really stuck with me today when this incident happened. No one wants to fight with law enforcement because we're all in this together. But for us to be a friend, you have to act like a friend. So it is a problem to try to work with some of the law enforcement because they don't see us as that. Here's a statement that was also made at this event. The person said, they were speaking about people like me, the forerunners for your, loved ones. The person said, you all aren't important. It's the victim that's important. You know what? I would have never, ever said that. He's right, and he's definitely not right. The victim is always going to be important. But right now, when this is an unsolved case and you're the forerunner, I beg your pardon. You're the important one. And the reason why you're the important one is because you are the one out there fighting for your loved one. You are the one making the phone calls. You are the one putting your heels to the ground and fighting for your loved one and demanding that questions be asked and demand answered rather, and demanding respect. and making them relevant. So no, you are the important one. Once the perpetrator is found, brought to justice, then all 100% of the attention will go back to the victim. So women, never feel that what you're doing is wrong. Never allow anyone, I don't care if it's law enforcement, I don't care if it's a politician, a family member, a best friend, never allow anyone to stop you from doing the purpose for the pain, to stop you from doing that thing that you were called to do. So many survivors were there. It was a packed room. And I had left because I got really offended by that. So not to act up, I figured it's best for me to leave because I can go off now. So I was asked to come back by some more survivors. So finally I went back in, and I just said, I want an apology. So I went in and the person literally said in front of everyone, and other survivors had said they were also offended. It affected them. And the person said they were not apologizing. They said they did nothing wrong. They're not apologizing. And this is even after other people, survivors, were saying they were hurt. They were offended. The person still would not say anything. So that tells me something right there. If the department, if the law enforcement and those who are in charge can't even humble themselves and be the example for the other officers or police, then tell me how in the world are we going to fix this problem? One of my recommendations is that there be a liaison between the woman survivor of homicide and the detective. There needs to be someone sitting in that room who is not on anyone's side, that can just, ensure that the conversation is flowing, respect is being, presented, a follow-up, and things like that. They don't have that. So that was one of my recommendations, because a lot of women aren't comfortable going down to the police station and talking to the detectives because they feel they're being disrespected. They feel like they're being talked down to. They feel like, why are you down here? For what? For what? This case is 20 years old. What are you holding on for? That is the perception that I get from other women, and I can speak for myself. That is how I felt. So, but I'm a fighter. I am exactly what I say, a survivor of homicide. And I know that you are too. So don't get discouraged. Please fight for your loved ones. Please. And another thing, when you go and you have an appointment at the law enforcement, take someone with you. Always do that, so that when someone says, oh, I didn't say this, and you're playing the Simon Says game, you can have that person there to say, yes, you did say that. And that could also be the job of that liaison who sits in that room to make sure that that meeting flows properly and respectably. So, women survivors of homicide, I'm heated, but I'm feeling better because I'm able to talk to you all and to encourage you. Because if you're a forerunner for your loved one, and you have to deal, and to be that, you have to deal with law enforcement and other people, then this show should encourage you on today. Don't you ever give up on your loved one, no matter what forces are against you. Women survivors of homicide, if we just stick together, that's really what it's all about. I felt so much support in that room. Women were just like standing and they were speaking out and they were saying, no, you affected me too. I didn't like what you said. Why would you say 17 years? You projected that exactly to her. So there was this kumbaya, there was this coming together. And that's what it's going to take. We need a movement. We need a woman survivor of homicide movement, regardless of color, economics, what community you live in, your education, your religion. We need women to come together and stand together. So the support that they gave me was just so wonderful. And I thank those women for that. And I just pray and I hope that we can continue on here in Boston fighting for our loved ones while we stand together as women survivors of homicide. So in my closing, I'd just like to say to you ladies, find your place. Find other women survivors of homicide who you can stand with, who you can walk with, who you can find that comfort and that peace with. And just quickly, there was a woman in that room, and it hurt my heart. She was sitting there crying, just crying. And I looked down to her and I says, "Are you okay?" And she goes, "Yes." Because she was so affected by that statement. You know, she lost her son just 2 years ago. So we have to all be mindful of, the things that we say, how we say them, because everybody is hurting. We're all hurting. So I'm going to sign off now. I have my candle, and I hope you light a candle for yourself. And wherever you are today, whatever you're doing, I wish you peace, I wish you hope, and I wish you joy. Talk to you later. Bye.